على رسول الله. طبعا يعني in the beginning we welcome our يعني sons الحمد لله محمد and إبراهيم مش كده؟ الحمد لله يعني they have joined the family here in Chicago and الفاضل يعني must be very happy as he appeared يعني
برضاح المرة
إن شاء الله in the picture إن شاء الله.
10 دقائق
هني
نعم
دقيقة
هنيه بالنجاح.
ما شاء الله برضه النجاح انا ما كنت اعلنتها يعني he earned
ما شاء الله
258 out of 280
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله
يعني عملنا لك تهنئة congratulations in Dar-Alhijrah يعني page إن شاء الله the خاطرة is short but إن شاء الله it's going to be useful إن شاء الله for all ages. I discussed it with Professor Mirghani يعني we agreed on the theme or the outline of the خاطرة. Here we have the
English
signs آيات الله سبحانه وتعالى or سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم. يعني Allah is saying in the Quran that we will show them our signs in the horizon and in themselves. Now we are going to focus in ourselves. يعني one of the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is language or the tongue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created us and He enabled us to crawl and then to walk, but He also put in us the capacity to speak or to talk. This is for everybody. Every child, wherever they are born, in a poor country, in a rich country, in Africa, in Europe, they all acquire. They don't learn. We don't talk of language learning for the mother tongue, but acquisition. They acquire their mother tongue with ease, without any difficulty. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also told us this in the Quran. For example, in Surah Hud, He says, وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. There is no creature that crawls or moves on the earth except that it is due on Allah to provide for them, the rizq, the provision. And then in Az-Zariyat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show us how sure this promise is. And He said, وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ فَوَرَبِّ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِنَّهُ لَحَقٌّ مِثْلَ مَا أَنَّكُمْ تَنْطِقُونَ. Just as we talk, as we speak, we take it for granted. It is also to be a sure thing that our rizq is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Usually when Muslim scholars talk, on the subject of language, they tend to talk of the differences and the variations of languages. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. The differences in your tongue. But today we are just going to focus on everybody's ability to speak. Because centuries ago, the scholars thought children learn by imitation, by imitating their parents. But this turned out to be not the case. Even when they studied and analyzed the mistakes, the errors that children make, this was proof that they were not imitating the parents. Because the errors themselves do not occur in adult speech. For example, a child will, notice that people add ed to form a past tense. For example, play, you add ed to make it past tense. And then he over applies the rule. He thinks that this is a solid, fixed, general rule which applies in every case. So there is like over application of the rule. he internalizes the rule and then he overgeneralizes it. This does not occur in adult speech. So he is not imitating the adults around him. He is born pre-programmed. The word that Chomsky uses, pre-programmed. Pre-programmed to acquire his mother tongue. And they call this the innateness. Innate. It is innate. يعني شيء كامن في نفسه موجود فيه بالغريزة وبالفطرة. Intuitive. Also. These are very important terms now. يعني every child is born pre-programmed to acquire his mother tongue. يعني when we acquired Sudanese Arabic, for example, we didn't have any problems. We didn't encounter any difficulties wherever we lived. The same holds true for a Pakistani or an Indian. Your mother tongue, you are guaranteed to acquire it with ease, without difficulty, and to speak it. And this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm just going to take one example from English. It shows first the creativity of the English language, and then every native speaker, those who have been to school and those who have not been to school, whatever background, as native speakers of English, they know this intuitively. It's innate. So we take a verb like look, okay? First, when we add the past, ed, because of the d, we say looked, but it is actually with a t. Okay, looked. And this is a rule that every American, every native speaker of English knows, that if you have, this is a voiceless sound, then you say T, I looked at him. But if it is like, for example, big, this is voiced, then it will be with a D, okay? So here there is voicing assimilation. And this rule is known intuitively by every native speaker. He looked at him. It's not looked with a D, but it is with a T. Just like, for example, we say to make plural, you add S. But actually, it's S like when you have cat, cats. But bag, bags. It's not an S here, also voicing assimilation. The S becomes a Z, voice after voice. Voiceless after voiceless. The same thing with the past. It is a T after voiceless. It is a D after the voice. This rule is not taught. By the time the child goes to school, he's already speaking fluently. Nobody has taught him this rule, as they do, for people learning English as a second language. Also, the native speaker would know that we expand the verb. So if I say, look up, you ask me about the word, I say, let's look it up in the dictionary. Now we have Google as a verb. Let's Google. Google actually is a noun, but now they are using it also as a verb. Let's Google it, okay? Look it up. Look out. This actually has two meanings. In case of danger, for example, something is falling, on you, or you might step into ice. I say, look out, means watch out, be careful. But if we are here and somebody passes by the street, by the window, I say to Ahmed, look out the window. Manada, look, find out. What a surprise, your friend is here. Look out. So look out, it can be for a danger, a warning, or it can be meaning to find out. Look out. Look out the window. We have look after. Look after is like to care for. For example, we are traveling and you ask me who is going to take care of, for example, your kids. I say their mom is there to look after them. To look after is to care for. Look over. Look over is to like protect or guard. Look over my shoulder. Actually, you know, this really happened to me in the Walgreens by Western and Howard. I was in the store and this guy was shoplifting, and he said to me, "Look over my shoulder." I said, "This guy," he looked, you know, in the store, he saw the only black person is me, and he said, "Look over my shoulder." And then I just left, you know. They have cameras, you know. If they want to catch him, let them catch him. I'm not going to get into trouble. So look over is to protect or to guard. Look into, for example, the police are looking into the murders. There is a crime, they are investigating. They are investigating these murders. We have like look through, يتصفح. For example, you want to apply, you know, to a college, and I say, here is the college catalog, look it through. Look it through, يعني don't read it like word, you know, by word, but just like, you know, zoom through to find out the information, you know, you want about the school. Look, for example, I'm looking forward to. Forward to. يتشوف. You tell me about something exciting, I say, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward. يعني I can't wait. I'm so eager, you know, to attend and to be there. Look for, طبعا. Or sometimes you have is looking around for. The wolf is looking around for, you know, an animal to hunt. The wolf is looking around for. So to look for, to look around. All these are called phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs. What I want to share with you.
Look down.
Look down, يحتقر برضو, yeah, to look down, yeah, to look down somebody. Now, yeah, to despise someone is to look down. What I want to share with you is that all this is intuitive to the native speaker. Yeah, by the time he joins the school, he is already speaking the language fluently. The parents did not teach him, obviously, especially if they are immigrant parents like us. They don't teach, you know, the kids the grammar. Then the question arises, how do the children, you know, accumulate this grasp, fluent grasp of the language? It's innate, and this is what scholars have come to believe in. I mean, some of them are seculars, you know, but they assert and admit that it is innate. It is intuitive. The child is born pre-programmed, ready to acquire his mother tongue. As he is ready to walk and move and eat, he is born naturally prepared to speak. And this is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we say phrasal verbs, we mean there is a verb. In Sudan, they used to say it plus preposition. Yeah. But here they have the same problem. يعني عندنا حرف الجر وظرف المكان. مثلا تحت وفوق هذه ظروف مكان ليست حروف جر. So they also said we can't say preposition because, like, you know, under or down, these are not prepositions. These are adverbs. So they say verb plus particle. Now the particle is general. So you have
linguistic.
So you have, and this, like, you know, applies to many, many verbs. Like, you know, you have a verb like put up with. Ahmed or Muhammad, if I say I can't put up with this guy. Yeah? What does it mean? I can't. ايوه I can't tolerate him مش كده؟ I can't مكتشل يعني بالسوداني كده مش كده الزول ده I can't put up with this. أو حاجة يعني في شغل there is some work we are doing it. I can't put up with this. It's enough for me. So you have like put up with. And you know many verbs take prepositions and adverbs, and they expand the meaning of the basic verb. Basic verb. So you have look with a basic form meaning, but then we have all these, you know, additions, the particles, to come up with expansions of the core meaning. And the native speaker does not struggle in knowing this. Nobody, like, you know, overtly teaches grammar to him. So the conclusion is that it is intuitive. And who made it so innate and intuitive but the intelligent designer, the creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الدكتور قال ممكن يكون عنده مداخلة.
هي بس اللي هو المذر تانج أو اللغة الأم راسخة بخلافة من اللغة المكتسبة، إنه اللغة المكتسبة ممكن تفقدها لكن لغة الأم ما بتفقدها. عندنا واحد صاحبنا في ويستمنستر هوسبيتال شغال جي بي هناك، كنا في 70 فهو مهاجر من ليتوانيا. ليتوانيا دي الثلاث دولات الصغيرة بتاعت البلطيق دي. 40 سنة في لندن وشغال طبيب عام جي بي ميزي، وصاحبنا في المستشفى ويرسل لنا المرضى وكده. بعدين جاته جلطة في المخ. 40 سنة عايش في انجلترا. لما جاته الجلطة دي رجع يتكلم ليتواني، فاحنا ما فاهمين حاجة. الانجليزي ده كله في 40 سنة ده اتمسح. لكن الايميل دي ما راح.
بعدين by the way they came
رجع يتكلم ليتواني.
an approximate age is 12 up to the age of 12 لحد سن ال 12. يعني لو جبت الطفل هنا ما دون ال 12 ما حيكون عنده اي مشكلة. بعد ال 12 بتبدا الديفيكولتيز بتكون
عنده شويه
السنه اللي كان احنا
12 اي نعم. حتى بالمناسبه بيسموه الاطفال يعني دون ال 12 بيكونوا كيدز. يعني حتى في الموفي مثلا بتاعت الرابشر والكده دي لما جات الرابشر دي الاطفال من 12 وتحت يعني نعم كانهم مع المؤمنين يعني نعم بدون حساب. نعم.
في نقطة الناس مفروض ينتبهوا ليها شوية، إنه الإنسان لو داير يقيم عظمة الخلق في أي شيء يشوف الناس طلعوا ما بيرفكت. يعني أنت داير تقيم عظمة مسألة اللغة واكتسابها والنطق السليم دي، أمشي فتش الناس اللي ما بيتكلموا بيرفكت، اللي هي بتبتدي بالتمتمة، عدم نطق الكلمات صح، شنو حاجات كثيرة.
ايوه صح.
دي الطريقة اللي أنت بتقيم بها إنه النطق بتاع البشرية.
زي الرزق برضه.
يعني ربنا ادانا شوية سامبل كده
نعم.
عشان يورينا انه المسألة دي كان ممكن ملخبط.
حتى في الدنيا يعني تنظر الى من هو دونك عشان يعني لا تفتري نعمة الله.